Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors in Winston Chester. Glad to hear you this morning. Welcome to the show. We appreciate your viewership. Let's always start off with our weather, brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard, and a hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. High today is going to be 58 and low, a little bit warmer tonight. It's only going to get down to 39 tonight. Water temperature at the end of the period right at 61.4 degrees. Our river reading brought to us by Panama City Coca-Cola. Take a look at the Apalachicola Bluntstown. It's fairly high. It dropped a little bit. It's at about a 5.8 this morning. And the Choctaw at Caryville, 3.7. Take a look at both rivers, and a little bit of action going on, but not much. Really good, steady flow on both rivers. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Looking at the rest of this week and today, we're in neap tides, but man, looking at next week after Christmas, we have some really strong tides coming along, so be aware of that. The wind direction won't be quite as blowing this morning. Yesterday was about 15. Today it's going to be dropped down to about 9. Still coming out of northeast. So all these little things are important. And closing out this segment, I want to wish a very happy birthday to Joel Miller of there in Lynn Haven. Joel is a very loyal viewer of Panhandle Outdoors. We appreciate it. So happy birthday, Joel. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I had some great pictures over the last weekend and over the previous week, and y'all are so good about sharing them with me. And like I said, I picked some up, and y'all sent us some. My buddy Jerry Forehand sent these, and Jerry is an avid fisherman, one of the best fishermen I know. Check these out. Jerry said, caught these. Oops, I went the wrong way. Let's get back up. I had it all set up. I had everything all set up. All right, here we go right here. Let's start over. Your hand hits the wrong button. Caught these 12, 13, this last week with my buddy Mike Parrish trolling beetle spins. Okay, so right there. All right, here they are. Right, is that the beetle spin strikes again. Good job. I know Mike enjoyed that also. What a good mess of fish in cold weather. Good job there. I ran across this. Dinner time, 1970. This is Sunday dinner, 1970, with a baby and the grandparents and everybody looking around and smiling for the camera, and probably a Kodak, and the flash goes off. How about dinner time 2023? Is that not true? And I'm gonna make me some resolutions this year that I personally, let me mention that real quick. I feel so strong about social media because I get so much information from it, but at the same time, it takes up, you just get in. So one of my resolutions, I admit, I'm gonna bring it up today, I'm gonna slack off from social media. It's crazy. All right, move on. More pleasant right here. Choctaw River fishing. This is out of Black Creek Lodge. We talk about Black Creek a lot. J.B. Hillard sent this, and the guy caught a 39-inch on a 10-pound line. It weighed 28 pounds. His belly, look at that last sentence. His belly was full of 7-inch mullet. They also brought in, this is one of the club members here, but look at that fish there. It has 7 mullet in it. You don't think a mullet is a good bait? Thank you, JB. Jerry Baker, my cousin, Jerry Baker, he's my second cousin up there in Gaston County. He lives here now. He went to Burnt Mill Creek the other day and caught a bunch of small trout, and no keeper, but lots of fun catching them. Let me repeat, lots of fun catching them. And, here's what he used. How about a redhead little jig there? Do you think that's a popular one? And here it is right here. But just look at the creek itself, how beautiful the Burnt Mill is. And there is a lot of trout in there. Most of them are small. And if I ever catch a big one out there, I release the big ones because they're the breeding stock. So it's fun to go in there and just take a young person catching those little trout. Good job, cuz. Okay, had Ken Pepper on yesterday. We didn't get a chance to talk about the National Wild Turkey Federation, the annual convention. I know some of y'all go to it. It's just opened up registration. It'll be about February 14th through 18th, right in the middle there. It's at the convention center right there in Nashville, the Gaylord Opryland Resort. A lot of y'all have gone out of the viewing area, and everyone who's ever been said it's just spectacular. I know Ken goes a lot, and don't know if he's going this year or not, but anyway, if you want a good weekend trip, that'd be a fun thing to do. Chris Beard, Chris is I've known Chris a long time. Day one of my Christmas break, his county's already taken a break. It is rare to only go and throw one time and leave. I have fished many times for half a day to only catch 5 or 6 fish. Okay, it looks like I'll be restocking my canned mullet. This is from one cast, folks. This is what you can do when they're hanging around a dock, hanging around a pier, and you got a big net and you get a good spread on it. That is a fine throw right there, Chris. I wish I had that on video. Good job. Billy Cranston sent this. A blind hunter ahead. He shoots at the sound. No trespassing. All right, Billy. J.B. Hillard also sent this, not brim of catfish, but on the lower river, caught some keeper specks down there, where Black Creek comes out into the river on the lower end. And then I picked this up, Panhandle surf fishing. This is over in Okaloosa County. I'm telling you, I've got a few pictures. The pompano is still biting, folks, in certain areas now. Overall, I talked to Scott Lindsay the other day, and he said they've caught them pretty strong out there on the west end of the beach. So that's a good catch right there, along with the redfish. Okay, so all those, look at what all we've been catching and all, and I have not shown any deer pics. We'll maybe catch up on those, but the outdoors has been thriving here in the Panhandle. So we got this cold weather. So how do you fish in cold weather? We talk about it each year. We have the winter equinox coming up December the 22nd, first day actually of winter. It's not winter yet. It will be 2 days. And so I always think about, you sort of shifting gears, slowing things down. And I ran across this I was looking up some information on, what's going on in this time of year with the winter. So here's some tips on winter fishing. I know this is elementary here, but we have that cold front coming in. It pushes the warm air up, and it can cause severe weather. Every year we see some winter storms and all. So the weather itself is just important. And it has a lot of effect on different things at different fronts and all. So the barometric pressure, this means a lot in fishing now, starts dropping after the front passes through. All right, the pressure starts building up. And then the wind starts coming in from the north. This is a little elementary stuff. So bottom left-hand corner, plan fishing trips just prior to the passing of a cold front when fish are at the highest feeding level. Avoid a lake with a current or producing high current. Head to the north bank. We won't do that because of the north wind. And this is interesting, fish between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. It's a lot warmer. So anyway, those hints right there, those little winter fishing trip, we take for granted, but we always like to fish. If a front's coming in, try to catch them ahead, try to get out ahead of that front. That's what I wanted, the main tip I want to give you on that section. I got more, so let's take a quick break. I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Just a couple more quick points on the winter weather and winter fishing right here. If you fish for winter, I ran across this also. If you can fish live bait, that's good. The lures, it's, what do you want to mimic? Anything in the water. And soft plastic, your white, silver. Okay, that's important. White or silver in those transparent straight tail worms, and also the crankbaits, chrome, silver. Okay, spinners and spoons on a warm day, gold spoon especially. And here's the winter equinox, we talk about in December the 22nd. This is what's going, the shortest day of the year, and over on the right-hand side, it's pointing away, our Earth is pointing away from the sun, and that's the deal and all of that. We used to go in a lot of detail about the equinoxes and all. So anyway, that's what's going on. And now, speaking of what's going on, I've got some pictures. I was talking about doing good things for folks, other people and all, and we had this past Friday, I was with Drew Pollard. I went by his shop there, and we loaded up my truck, loaded up his truck, and loaded up a van with toys, and delivered them to some schools Friday morning. I want to show you some pictures talking about good things happening, but good people doing good things for others. And here it is right here. This went by Bozeman. There's Drew on the right, and Kim Timmons there, assistant principal. Ivan was in a meeting, and a picture on the wall there, that's my buddy Bob Thomas. Y'all, big shout out to Bob, my hunting buddy up in North Georgia. Okay, so anyway, we'll go through the pictures real quick. Got a look at all the bicycles and all. This all comes from Drew's friends and supporters just bringing stuff to school. Now, look at all the stuff in there. A couple of truckloads. Okay, we'll go up to Water, up to West Bay. I'm sorry, up to Fountain, to Water Elementary, and okay, there's the principal. She's unloading herself. And look, my truck was full on there, and then the back seat was full. Everything just full of toys. Okay, and then here we are loading them up, and they were so appreciative at Water Elementary. We got inside the library there, and there's Drew, and the ladies were so appreciative, the whole staff there. Gina Gina McAnally, great principal there, and she's excited, all of her helpers there, and they spread out stuff. And look at those bicycles in our library. Isn't that cool stuff right there? And more stuff. Then we went over to, let's see, we walked around and just showed, this is at another school over here. This is at Cedar Grove. And look at all the stuff we have there, just boxes and boxes. This is from that big party that Drew had and shared it. All the friends came and shared it. And there's the Cedar Grove folks right there. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. So that's a lot of good things going on. And I know I felt so humbled. Drew told me that some of my viewers brought some toys by, and one viewer, I won't call out his name, I know who he is, drove down from Calhoun County and gave him a $100 check. And some other people, gave some checks and all, and Drew and Jenna went out and bought some toys at different places. And it was just, it's not a huge operation, but that's personal to me because it's local folks doing it for 3 or 4 local schools. Good stuff there. So anyway, move on. I ran across this the other day. Let's switch channels from presents, from Christmas, get to snakes. And the indigo snake is a fascinating snake. I haven't spent a lot of time with him before, but I ran across this article, and here it is right here. This set of pictures, indigo is up here on the right-hand side. Basically what happened, Matt Moore, they were doing a survey, and what happened, the snake, they found this big indigo snake with its stomach full, and they kept looking at it, and this was last month. It was measured like 4 foot long. They put it in a bag. What happened, they put it in a bag, and took the bag back to the lab, and what happened, of course indigos get that big, but what happened, he regurgitated, and this is indigo here, after it regurgitated. When it regurgitated, these other 2 snakes were inside the stomach, right there. Isn't that amazing? And so the guy thought the snakes were dead. So he was working around, moved around, and the snakes are still on the table. He had them laying out there because he was going to document all of his catches and everything. And he'd moved over. I read the story. He moved over to one part of the room, was coming back. He heard this noise, and the rattlesnake come to life. He'd just been stunned being inside the indigo belly. So is that not an amazing story? And both snakes live. They really here's a picture of the diamondback right here, there, and how they both lived through it. So that was a fascinating story I wanted to share with you, with some scientists doing some work. Another question, I got a question. I ran across this. People have asked me this before on freezing the fish. How long can you freeze fish? And it's always a good question. And see if I can find it. Can't find it right now, but anyway, we've always used fish, always froze them about 6 months is our max, 4 to 6 months. Okay, let me take a quick break, and I'll come back and I'll find that for you. So we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at the Fish and Game Time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. Our time, we're looking at 5:19 to 7:19 this afternoon, 5:42 to 7:42. I got a quick, before I get back to the fish, I got a quick flounder video. Joe Eddy, we're talking about Joe Eddy, one of the best flounder gigging men around in the Florida Panhandle. And this time, flounder season back open, so send us a little 20-second video. So here we go right here. So look, he sees like 3 or 4. Look at the flounder, folks, on top of that area right there. So he picks out that one. Boom, boom, right there. That's a rocky area that shows you they're not always just in sand. He's got them. He's got them right there. Good job, Joe. Well, here's what's funny now. The dog's all excited. The dog is so excited. So he drops it off. Wait, look, the dog grabs the flounder. Look at there. The dog grabs him, takes him out of the ice chest. All right, let's watch that. Let's watch that again, because it's always fun to watch it the second time. You sort of know what's going on. So he's poling up this area. See the flounder on that? There's like 4 different flounder, and he picks out the biggest one and head shot right there. And hold it down. This little technique he has, he's one of the best around. When you gig him, you don't jerk it back up real quick. You hold it down like that. Bring it back up. Look at the dog all excited. And he tries to put it in his ice chest, and the dog takes it off. And look at there. I just thought that was funny. Good job, Joe. The funny thing about doing those kind of things, when you take your dog out there, you got to work with your dog and help the dog out. And so you want to catch some flounder, one for you and one for the dog. All right, moving along. I'm talking about freezing fish before the break, and we don't do it very long. We don't freeze any more freshwater fish. We did for a while, and my dad always froze his freshwater fish. And of course, on saltwater fish, I'm going to take those big trips on with Billy Archer and all, with catch a grouper and a snapper. We'll freeze that, but we don't freeze a lot of fish, not near as much as we used to. And the question was, this guy right here, what made me think about it, this guy sent a question. He said, I'm probably going to sound stupid, but does this look good? I don't normally freeze fish long before I eat it, and been several months. So anyway, he had a lot of good answers, and I started thinking about it. So I looked up, and really, you don't know if that's freezer burn or not. We personally probably will not eat that, but sometimes they'll get freezer burn. But so I looked up what the experts say. Lean fish like catfish or cod can be frozen for 6 to 8 months. Now we have a lot of lean fish around here, and then but you don't want it soft. And then of course you put it. That's one of the best inventions we've had when it's talking about taking care of your fish. Well, vacuum seal bags. Wow. If you don't have one of those, that might be a good Christmas present to get for yourself if you're going to do it. Like the vacuum seal bags, it just takes all the oxygen out of it and less breakdown. So that's a good there. The second option, of course, the old-fashioned way, freezer bags. And I get tickled. We didn't use freezer bags. My dad used a gallon plastic jug and cut it at the top, but it kept a handle on it. And I always had some pictures of our freezer back in the day of like 5 or 6 gallons of catfish and brim and shell cracker. So anyway, I got another interesting story coming up. I've run across a lot of interesting stories. This one right here, let me see. I can't find it. This basically we're talking about tags. Okay, right here. This guy, right here. This guy shot a duck, and we're talking about banding on the ducks. Clint Hood, he reported, Clint Hood banded this, and he found out it was banded. He recently shot it in 2011, and it was up there. It was banded up in Canada. Now he was goose hunting, okay. And here's right here. It was banded up there in that part of Canada. Now I don't know if he was down here or what. But anyway, here's a band on it. So that band's like 12 years old. And that's how when you do that, you just send that off up to Department of Interior, and they'll do it. One of the things too, I ran across. Speaking of duck hunting. Okay, right here. This is the 4 flyways. This one's in color. I've shown this before, but not the colors like this. And on the far right, of course, Atlantic flyway, and then the main one here in the blue, and how that affects us. That's a Mississippi flyway. But what's interesting, you zero it in, and you can see some of the ones. These are some of the ones been tagged and all. See that green one right there? That came out of the Central flyway, and then the black one came out of Atlantic. So we sort of in between here in South Alabama and the Florida Panhandle. You get a mixture. What I thought was really interesting, on the lower right-hand corner, down below Lake Okeechobee, see that green duck? Look where he came from. You think he was lost? And then, of course, the Pacific Flyway is a huge area too, and they go on down into Mexico. But it's really interesting, the flight pattern of the four flyways, but they do get mixed up and all. And up in here, how they start flying that way. One of the other things too, I went to checking on the ducks right here. I went to Ducks Unlimited, checked the migratory route. Now here, I just made a copy of it. These are the four in our area that was reported by duck hunters within the past week. And first one out of Panama City, increasing numbers of migrations, okay? In other words, and you see where the others come from. But this is Panama City, that's one of those dots there. The other one on East Point, the next day, had low numbers, but a migration has started. So this is Apalachicola Bay. I always thought that was interesting right there. And then from Perry, Florida, one of those other dots was from Perry on the 9th. Peak numbers. So these are all coming from duck hunters, and also down in Tampa, peak numbers. So what I love about this is coming, from the guys in the field, and it's really interesting to see that. The biggest thing, I'm going to go back to where those dots were. Those four reports right there. Let me see. Okay, I can't find it, but right here. This is all in the past week. They send these reports in to Ducks Unlimited, and I just picked out these four right here. But you look at Atlantic Flyway and all the different places. Obviously, the duck hunters have really been hunting up in the Midwest, and those are some really good hunts up there. But I thought it was interesting too to see them hunting up in the Great Lakes. You would think, looking at that, knowing ducks the way I do, you would think that they all headed back down this way. So I guess those came from northern Canada. But anyway, duck hunting has been strong in certain areas. You see the peak numbers in Apalachicola Bay, and also toward Perry, Florida. There's a lot of ducks have been seen, and I'm seeing some ducks now out my window out there in North Bay. The migration has started in our area. So just interesting stuff to pass on to you and share with you. So got a good show lined up for tomorrow. Got a guest coming in, and we're going to try to get Travis to come back and answer all your questions. But got to get out of here now. Wrapping up the show, as always, with appreciation, how much we appreciate you watching the show. Do something good for someone today, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.